Scene Mom says, welcome to the new podcast from former Phoenix radio host Danny Cutler. Each week bringing you independent music, industry news, the occasional interview, and other fun segments. Let's get to it. Scene Mom says hello and welcome to episode 52. Hope you all had a good week. Once again, I'm coming to you from Rockville, Maryland. It's been my last week here. I haven't really done anything since I've been here. I worked, of course. I've done the show, of course. I've kept my sister's dog alive, of course. But I just haven't had the energy to do anything, not even wander down to DC to look around. I don't know. Still might happen this week. I go home on Monday, but right now, I just have been watching a lot of movies and reading my book. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if it's just my body knowing how busy I've been at home now and using this opportunity to just rest. Who knows? Right away, too, I'm going to have a visitor joining me, and I'm super excited to have him visit. Maybe that's another reason my body is saying rest up, because I drive home on Monday, which will be all day. Tuesday, I pick him up at the train station, which is 90 minutes away. I have a lot of driving in my future. I do plan on recording a show with him, and that's going to make him my first in-studio guest. Yes, I've had guests on the show, but first time in my studio. Have I been vague enough about who it is? I'm going to keep being vague. That all being said, there will probably not be a show next week because with Monday and Tuesday so busy, there's no way I'm going to get a show prepared, written, recorded for next Thursday, unless I just throw up the audio from my guest in lieu of the normal format. But I don't like swaying from my format. I don't know. It could be a special edition. I don't know. We'll see. I'm still working on that, but don't expect a show next week. But keep yourself subscribed and keep following me everywhere because one show doesn't mean it's all gone. And in other non-music news, another thing to celebrate today, March 20th, is my wedding anniversary. Yes! Mr. Scene Mom and I are celebrating 32 years. I have to call him Mr. Scene Mom because he's not really Scene Dad. It seems really crazy, though, that has been so long when I still feel about 35 years old. Well, in my brain, I feel 35. Don't ask my knee or my lower back how old I feel. All right. Well, coming up on the show, I have your music news, your music history, a really fun feel-good story a friend sent me that is completely appropriate, and some great indie tracks, as always. Let's start our music this week with a wonderful track from my friend and Phoenix artist Jam Now. I think I played this last year, too. I commissioned him a couple of years ago to write a song for our 30th wedding anniversary. He did such a wonderful job, and it made my husband cry, so mission accomplished. This is called Love is a Treasure, and you are listening to What Scene Mom Says.
Met at Tempe High in '86. She was a freshman, he was a junior. She asked if the seat on the bus was taken. It was a love almost forsaken. The time put the pieces together. Love is a treasure. It's always getting better. Love is a treasure. Sailing to the secret island with the sunset in their eyes. He dropped her the question under marshmallow skies, from the salt to the fresh water, came two precious daughters as the salmon swam to Allison the sand. Time put the pieces together. Love is a treasure. It's always getting better. This love is a treasure. Yeah, this love shared together. Time put the pieces together. Love is a treasure. It's always getting better. This love is a treasure. Yeah, this love shared together. This love is a treasure. Yeah, this love shared together.
The rain comes down, it floods the ground. I hear the sound of the city sleeping through it now. Tell me your dreams when you wake up. You fell asleep in your makeup again. Oh, for your dreams, did you save up? Yeah, for your dreams, do you have to pretend? Sleep tight, my love, it's a beautiful night. When the sun comes up, it'll be alright. The rain comes down, it floods the ground. Sound of the city sleeping through it now. There is no way I could reach your door. This violent pour, yeah, we wanted more. Yeah, we wanted more. I didn't sleep, no, I stayed up. Don't feel the need to wake up for me. Yeah, when you're free, we can make up. Yeah, we can swim through the sea of debris. Sleep tight, my love, it's a beautiful night. When the sun comes up, it'll be alright. Comes down, it floods the ground. I hear the sound of the city sleeping through it now. The rain comes down, it floods the ground. I hear the sound of the city sleeping through it now. I hear the sound of the city sleeping through it now. Yeah, for your dreams, do you have to pretend?
was new music from Arizona artist Rachel Plays Guitar called North 36th Street off of her upcoming album called Tides. It also features another of my favorite people, Kill a Mouse. CMOM says it is time for some music news. The Recording Industry Association of America's 2024 year-end music report reveals that streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon Music have continued to drive substantial revenue growth, solidifying their dominance in the industry. For the first time, the number of paid subscriptions surpassed 100 million, increasing 3% from the previous year. The organization noted that this marks the first year of direct reporting as well from independent labels, including sync revenue estimates from indie sources. Simultaneously, vinyl records have experienced a remarkable resurgence, with sales reaching their highest levels since the 1980s, which indicates a strong consumer desire for tangible music formats alongside digital access. The report also highlights the industry's adaptability as artists and labels try to leverage both traditional and modern distribution channels to meet evolving listener preferences. Now that's all well and good that streaming revenue has grown, but has the income grown for all of the artists who everyone is streaming? We know who's pocketing the most money in this deal. In other news, the U.S. government is actively negotiating a deal for Oracle to take over TikTok's U.S. operations, aiming to address national security concerns associated with the app's Chinese ownership. Vice President J.D. Vance and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz are leading these discussions with a deadline set for April the 5th. The proposed arrangement, which is referred to as Project Texas 2.0, involves Oracle overseeing American user data to prevent potential access by the Chinese government. Oracle has previously hosted TikTok's U.S. data, positioning it as a strong candidate for the role. Oracle is also who Trump previously tried to sell the U.S. operations of TikTok to back in 2020, after he initially sought to ban the app in order to punish China for the spread of COVID-19. I am biting my tongue. However, some lawmakers, such as John Molinar, chair of the House's Select Committee on Countering China, argued that ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, must fully divest its U.S. operations to comply with U.S. law. While Oracle has emerged as a leading contender to manage the operations, other parties, including Microsoft and a consortium led by Frank McCourt and Alexis Ohanian, have also expressed interest. The outcome of these negotiations will significantly impact the future of TikTok in the United States. Finally, I'm sure you have read articles about the president signing an executive order to dissolve the Voice of America, which is basically the United States world radio station, so people in other countries can have access to American news. It actually started during World War II to fight propaganda, and so the troops would hear what is actually happening in America. Now, they've already fired employees, and many people tuning in are only hearing music right now. What you may not know is that this executive order also covers more than that. It will also dissolve funding of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. So if this goes into effect, it's going to cut funding for library programs like interlibrary loans, so you can check out books from other libraries in your area if it's not at the library closest to you, museum passes, and also makerspaces and, yes, recording studios. I recently discovered that many libraries in the Boston area have recording studios set up for use by the public. So if you are a musician or a podcaster, this can affect access to even more than books. If you do not have the funds to go to a recording studio, or you don't have the equipment to go to a recording studio, this is a fantastic option that could be lost. I know in my town, the budget is already very tight. And with federal funding being reduced or cut, many are going to look to residents and taxes to cover the difference. We have an override coming to our budget, and if it doesn't pass, our library, recreation center, and senior center are going to close. Now, I really don't enjoy being overly political on a show that is supposed to be more on the fun side and helping businesses, but unfortunately, the politics of the situation is overlapping more and more, affecting our culture, and it really could have devastating consequences on art and music. Financially, too, the Kennedy Center alone has had many cancellations since the president fired everybody and announced himself chairman. Artists have canceled tours, and the musical Hamilton completely canceled their entire residency there. It's a lot of money lost. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox for now. that is your music news this week. If you have any feedback or other thoughts, you can always email me, scenemomsays@gmail.com.
I'm like a little bit mythicalistic, overs on the back, the mystical shit. I'm thinking magically. I'm not a little bit scientific, I'm Nostradamus, I'm telepathic. I'm thinking reality. 'Cause I believe in make-believe. I believe in the old unicorn, 'cause I rode on through the cosmos. I believe in the old leprechaun, 'cause he came through my window, small as a thimble. You got lucky tonight, na. I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what you believe, but I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what they believe, but I believe. And if you said that we don't go to be dead, but instead we just some thread of consciousness, I believe. And if you preach that the world was just a peach dripping with the juice so sweet, I believe. I believe in the angels above, 'cause they haven't let me down yet. I believe in the devil below, 'cause he sits on my shoulder, ugly and evil. Say, boy, you got trouble tonight, na. I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what you believe, but I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what they believe, but I believe. And if you said that like everyone's connected, only in the mind do we create the vision, I believe. And if you scream, we all live it in a dream, tripping like it's LSD. I believe. I'm like a little bit mythicalistic, overs on the back, the mystical shit. I believe in the Olympians, yeah. Aries and Aphrodite, my babies. God, we forgot it tonight, na. I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what you believe, but I believe. I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what they believe, but I believe. I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what you believe, but I believe. I believe in make-believe. I believe in make-believe. I don't believe in what they believe, but I believe.
That was brand new music from one of my favorite Canadian indie bands, Mother. They have a new album coming out, and this is the first single called Make Believe. Scene Mom says it is time for some music history. On March 16th in 1968, following his tragic passing in December of 1967, Otis Redding became the first artist to have a posthumous #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 with Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. The song, recorded just days before his death, became an enduring soul classic. On March 17th in 1978, The Clash released Give 'Em an Up Rope. The Clash's second studio album marked their breakthrough in the U.S., helping to establish them as one of punk rock's most important bands. While not as raw as their debut, it did feature politically charged songs like Tommy Gun and Safe European Home, setting the stage for their legendary London Calling album. On March 19th in 1982, legendary Ozzy Osbourne guitarist Randy Rhoads, known for his groundbreaking work on Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, was killed in a tragic plane accident. He was only 25 years old. His influence on metal guitar playing remains well known and very immense in the metal world, and with any guitar player, I think. I know a lot of guitar players who have been influenced by him. On March 21st in 1963, the Beatles released their debut album, Please Please Me. The landmark album, recorded in just one day, introduced the world to the Beatles, featuring hits like Love Me Do and Twist and Shout. It set the stage for their global domination. And on March 22nd in 1974, the Eagles released On the Border. Their third studio album saw them shift towards a more rock-oriented sound, featuring the hit Already Gone. It also marked the debut of guitarist Don Felder, who would help shape the band's signature sound. That is some music history for you this week.
I woke up in the woods again. I dragged myself back over into town. I'm running out of common sense because you're wrong. You're all I think about. I see the sun go down. I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. I see the sun go down. There's nothing I can do to pretend. 'Cause when the midnight is drowning in the moonlight, can you hear me howling? It feels like you're surrounded. Look in my eyes, tell me all about it. You've been so far away, so far away, so far from me. 'Cause when the midnight is drowning in the moonlight, can you hear me howling? I'm killing just to pay the rent. I hid my fangs, but now they're coming out. By day I'm trying to get some rest. I know the moon is coming back around. I see the sun go down. I'm thinking, oh, here we go again. I see the sun go down. There's nothing I can do to pretend. 'Cause when the midnight is drowning in the moonlight, can you hear me howling? It feels like you're surrounded. Look in my eyes, tell me all about it. You've been so far away, so far away, so far from me. 'Cause when the midnight is drowning in the moonlight, can you hear me howling? 'Cause when the midnight is drowning in the moonlight, can you hear me howling? It feels like you're surrounded. Look in my eyes, tell me all about it. You've been so far away, so far away, so far from me. 'Cause when the midnight is drowning in the moonlight, can you hear me howling?
From Nashville, that was Max Frost with Howlin'. Highly recommend listening to his new album Shelby Avenue in its entirety. It is great stuff, as always, from Max. He was going to be in Boston in February, but unfortunately he had to cancel that leg of the tour, which is too bad. I hope he will come by again because I would love to see him live again. I'll bring someone with me. Maybe I'll do a contest. Bring a guest with me to see Max Frost. I don't know. We'll see. Mom says, time for your marketing tip of the week. Let's talk about content, long form and short form content to be specific. Now, I've explained before how attention spans have definitely waned over the years. Our feeds are completely oversaturated as well. You might think because of this that short content is where it's at, and you would be right up to a point. But there is a case and a place for longer content too, and it all comes down to repurposing. Now, long form can be places like blogs or YouTube. Short form can be Instagram or TikTok, like stories. Create that longer content. Do it. Go deeper into explanations. Do that case study. Upload that entire music video. Then repurpose all of it into shorter forms for posting on Instagram, TikTok, even on Facebook. Now, that being said, some people actually do read longer posts on Instagram and Facebook, or they'll watch a 5-minute video on TikTok. But it's not always the case. And you have to deal with that algorithm. Depending on what site you're on, it can be kinder to you with shorter content. The best thing to do is look at your insights and see how your posts are doing. It will show you exactly what is working and what isn't. Now, content is not one size fits all, so learning what works for your brand or your business specifically is more important than copying what others are doing just because you see they're doing well. And that's even in your same genre of work. So if you're copying other musicians, it's not necessarily going to work. I've tried copying things before, and it really is hit or miss. The bottom line is knowing your audience, and that will make it more hits than misses. Now, I will link to my entire blog post on this in the show notes. And as always, if you want to chat more about marketing and promoting your music or your brand, you can schedule a consultation with me at dannycutler.com. And you can also subscribe to the newsletter for even more tips and tricks. I will have a link, of course, in the show notes.
You never say what you do, always got something to prove. In the end, it's not true, but things always fall out into place. You never do what you say, but there just ain't no other way. You always say it's okay, but you leave without a trace. Come back, that's your plan. I never thought I'd be your man. It's a lot easier in the end, said than done. Come back, that's your plan. I never thought I'd be your man. It's a lot easier in the end, baby. All said and done. You never say what you think. You always got something to drink. And now we are breaking the link, but we'll see how long this all holds up. But here you are back in my arms, while you are working your charm, with all my weapons assault. But you always seem to push your luck. Come back, that's your plan. I never thought I'd be your man. It's a lot easier in the end, said than done. Come back, that's your plan. I never thought I'd be your man. It's a lot easier in the end, baby. All said and done. Come back, that's your plan. I never thought I'd be your man. It's a lot easier in the end, said than done. Come back, that's your plan. I never thought I'd be your man. It's a lot easier in the end, baby. All said and done.
That was the new single from Arizona band The Hourglass Cats with Come Back, which I thought was meant for me until I listened to it. I miss those guys. Homesick for me is not the place I lived, but the music I've experienced. C-Mom says it is now time for some good news, and this is some really feel-good news, and I'm extremely jealous of this good news. A 10-year-old girl named Ava Myers from Dallas, Texas, went on a trip to the UK with her family. Before she left, her 4th grade teacher, who is a huge Duran Duran fan, but probably not as huge as I am, jokingly told her to find Duran Duran while she was there. Well, she did. While exploring the Putney area in London, her mom realized that Simon Le Bon, the band's lead singer, lived nearby. So they took a chance, went to his house, and knocked on the door. Unbelievably, Simon Le Bon came out to greet them. He was super nice, took photos with Ava, and really made her trip for real. I mean, even if you're 10 years old and you don't know who Duran Duran is, that would be amazing. So when she got back to school, she shared the story with her teacher, who was completely blown away. I would be too. And I would fail her for not, having him record like something specific for her or whatever. I'm just kidding. It's just a fun feel-good moment about how the universe sometimes works in the coolest ways. I've, like I said, never been so equally happy for and jealous of someone. And I always knew he was a nice guy. All right, that is it for episode 52. I have to thank Soundbites Events and Open Mics for sponsoring this show. And as always, links to all the music and news heard this week will be in the show notes. And if you have any feedback or any music news or anything you'd like to share, you can always get in touch on social media. It's Scene Mom Says on Facebook, D Cutler AZ everywhere else, and you can always email scenemomsays@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear, please share. I'm also an independent artist. Thanks as always for listening, everybody, and you will hear me again soon. You've been listening to the Scene Mom Says podcast. Intro, outro music is Look Good for the Radio by Fairy Bones. Learn more about Danny and the show at dannycutler.com.